This is chakra 4. And this is at the level of the heart, the sacred heart of Jesus. Jesus, as Leopold Bloom says in Ulysses, with his heart on his sleeve. Anahata, and that means not hit. Ana is not, hata is hit. What this refers to is the sound that is not made by any two things striking together. The sound of my voice, any sound you hear is made by two things striking together. The voice, the air on the larynx cord. What is the sound that is not made by any two things striking together? It is Om. It is the sound of the energy of the universe of which all things are manifestations. The energy is what underlies all the forms, E equals mc squared. And the sound of that energy is said to be Om. Now, Om can be written in Roman letters either as O-M or as A-U-M. O in Sanskrit is analyzed into A and U. A-U-M, the four-element syllable. The four elements are A, U, M, and the silence out of which Om comes and back into which it goes. The Indians will always recognize that ground in silence, in infinite, in transcendent, in the void. Kali. Om pronounced starts in the back of the mouth, then fills the mouth cavity, oo, and closes at the lips, When properly pronounced, you have made all the noises. And so all words are simply fragments of Om. Just as all the images of the broken forms of the world are fragments of the form of forms, so all words are fragments of Om. Om is the sound of the radiance of God. Om is discussed in the Mandukya Upanishad. There's a very interesting two-page Upanishad, M-A-N-D-U-K-Y-A, Mandukya, in terms of the four steps, the four stages. A is associated with waking consciousness, the gross bodies of the forms in which we dwell, and of which we are one. Here, I am not you, you are not I, and a duality prevails, an Aristotelian logic. A is not A. Aristotle's logic is the logic of waking consciousness carried right through it. He's not letting anything else break in there. Gross bodies, they are not self-luminous. They have to be illuminated from without. U is of dream. When you dream, you're surprised by your dream, and yet the dream is you. You as subject are surprised by yourself as object. You seem to be two, you and your dream, but you are one. So subject and object, though they seem to be two, are the same. I and you are the same. This is the breakthrough of the metaphysical realization that the two that seem to be separate are really one. And this is the midway point to transcendence, to realizing relationship as identity. Also, the objects of dream are subtle objects, self-radiant, changing form rapidly. Dream, vision, God. The gods and heavens and hells are what might be called the cosmic aspect of dream. And the dream is the personal aspect of myth. Dream and myth are of the same order. They're of the order of U, dream consciousness. And you and your God are one, just as you and your dream are. And your God isn't my God. So don't try to push it on me. Everyone has his own being and consciousness. The third order then is of which is deep, dreamless sleep. Consciousness is there. The heart is ticking. The body will respond to heat and cold and so forth and so forth. But waking consciousness, the aham consciousness, the ego consciousness, is not in touch with consciousness. It is wiped out by darkness. The goal of yoga is to bring your waking consciousness into that field of awake. And then what it will experience is undifferentiated consciousness. Not the consciousness of anything, but that primary consciousness to which we are trying to yoga, to link our waking consciousness. So that's what we're talking about. Now the deity in the Sanskrit system representative of this is Shiva as the dancer. Look at the shape here and the head, and then look at Om. In other words, while looking at the image of Shiva, you are hearing the syllable Om, the sound of the radiance. Now, in lecturing to Methodists, I tell them about graven images. This is a permanent meditation. It's not idolatry. You're not idolizing this image. It's the radiance. It's the opening of it. Shiva helps you go through Shiva. You don't stop with him. And this is the little dwarf forgetfulness on whom he is dancing. Fascinated by the serpent of the world. Ignorant of the fact of this weight on his back, just as we all are. Shiva's right there waiting for us to recognize him.